My beautiful people, welcome to the Sacred Space with God podcast. I am your host, Tobega Vilagati, #IncoSatanotherBrand. I am a vessel of God. I am a mentor and I am an entrepreneur and a mom. And I love Jesus Christ very much. In this space, we cry, we love, we heal, and we thrive. Now I'm inviting you to join me. Let's chill and chat and allow the Holy Spirit to move in His power in our midst. My beautiful people, welcome to the Sacred Space with God. I am your host, Tobega Vilagati, #IncoSatanotherBrand, and I am a vessel of God. I'm a mentor, I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm a mom. And yes, I love Jesus Christ very much. So in this space, we love, we cry, we heal, and we thrive. So right now, I'm inviting you to join me. Let's chill and chat and allow the Holy Spirit to move in His power in our midst. So this is the very first episode, and I'm happy that you get to join me in this. In this podcast, I hope you get healing if you have a broken heart. If you're broken in any way, I hope you get a healing. If you can't love again, I hope you get love. You get to feel the love that was broken. May God heal it. In this podcast, I'm literally allowing God to use me as His vessel to heal His people, to touch His people, to uplift His people. And because God's purpose is for His people to flourish. We're supposed to be flourishing, not suffering like this. To suffer is just a temporary thing. It is a wilderness that you need to conquer, because without your sufferings, you wouldn't be the person that you are today. Today you are this great person because of the pain that you went through, the tears that you shed, the weeping that you wept. And today you rise up and you thrive. All those years in your wilderness, it was not in vain. It was for a purpose of God. Now I'm here to make sure, that you don't miss it, honey. Don't miss your season of greatness. Do not miss it. I am here to allow God to speak to you. If God is going to be speaking to you as sending you a wake-up call, or whatever that God wants to say to you. One thing about God, one word can speak to 1,000 people in the room. That's how powerful the word of God is. And that's how powerful our testimonies are, because in our testimonies, there is God in it. Because without Him, I wouldn't be here with you right now having my very first podcast. That God has been pressing me for such a long time to start, but I was just so nervous. I was like, God, no, not now. But God is like, child, you're wasting my time. I need to speak to my people. So today, we are going to be talking something that is really deep in my heart, and how I grew up. Basically, when I was meditating, asking the Holy Spirit, like, Lord, what do you want me to talk about? This is the very first episode of the Sacred Space with God. So what do you want me to talk about in this podcast? Because without you, I'm empty. As I was just writing the pointers of what God wanted me to speak about. God was like, baby girl, you get it. You have to take it back. Take it back to how you grew up. Share, your journey, how you grew up and everything. Because through my story, through that story, because I have a lot of stories. I have a lot of testimonies of, how God has been there in my life. And if He has been there for me, He will be there for you as well. So it's basically today we're talking about the father absent. Forgiveness and being healed by grace. Because without grace, honey, I'll be listen, the grudges I'll be holding, they will be insane. But by the grace of God, I'm so grateful. So I'm going to start by talking about what kind of a child I was growing up. I was a very quiet child. Me and talking were not really good friends. I was not a talkative child. But I was I was bubbly around my friends, around those people that I'm comfortable with and who know me, I know them, and then I'll be bubbly around them. Otherwise, I'm just a quiet child. I was just a quiet. If one child will try to emotionally bully me, honey, I'll just give them a side eye. You know, the side eye that speaks in volumes, you know, the side eye that says, child, I am not going to entertain you right now. You know, where you want me to go, I am not going to go. So basically, you're going to just look stupid when you try to bully me emotionally. It just did not work. So I was that child. I was very quiet. So let's go back to how it was when my dad is quite alive right now. Let me just say that, a disclaimer, my dad is very much alive. And with this story, it's no disrespect to him. I love him and I appreciate him very much. But in my story, God said, in the pain that you go through, that you went through, it's no more about me anymore. You know, it's not about me. So big I feel like I did. Now it's about the people of God. You know, what they will learn hearing part of my testimonies, because this is like a little bit of a portion of my journey with God. So I was that child, and I was a child that I have a prophetic gift, right? So I am a prophet as well. And I'm a child that grew up tapped into my spiritual gift. I was that child. Even my friends will tell you the things that I will see and dream of, which I'm really surprised, because my one friend still remember the things I'll be telling her. I'm like, how do you store these things up in your mind? Like, but I'm so grateful to God, because, God chose to just give me sisters, not friends, because they're more than friends. They are my sisters, and I'm very much grateful for them. So, in homes, when a home has a father figure in it, that home is very much respected. No one can just barge in and do whatever, because that home is respected. The home has it's a castle that has its own king, that is reigning in it. No random people will just barge in and do whatever, because that home is respected. However, when the king decides to move out in the kingdom, or in his castle, immediately the castle is not safe, basically. So that's how it was. When my dad was still home, we were happy. We'll be playing games. I remember one day he bought us, basically, because I have 3 other siblings. I'm the second child, and I do have a bigger brother, and then it's me, and then it's a boy and a girl again, and then I do have other siblings. It's my dad's kids. So, so I do have other brothers and sisters outside marriage that is not my mom's kids. But my mom take them as, their own, because, wow, my mom has a big heart, and I pray every day that, Lord, if you give me the heart that she has, I'll be grateful. That woman can love. She just was blessed by God to have a heart that just loves. So, when my dad was home, we'll feel safe, we'll be happy, we can't be harmed, man. Our dad is here, he can't touch us. We'll be happy, eating dinners together. And, he was very spontaneous. He would surprise us in weekends. He would take us to the park, take us to the, circus for games and everything. And he was just always spontaneous. So we'll be going to the beach and just to have a good time. We were, I would just say second priority, if not first. But he made sure that he just wanted to see us happy, and he made sure that we were protected. All right. So I believe my mom and dad had they breaking points that this is no more gonna work, right? So that was really, really painful. That was really, really painful. But before we get there, see, and then just to show that, my dad had my back, as long as, dad was here, I was protected. So when I was in primary, I remember there was this girl. I don't know what was the story behind it. But I think, like when a girl and a boy, they're going to curl, right? And then this girl was my friend. And then, she came up with this silly song. Me not knowing what the silly song is about, she's like, come on, just sing with me. But she knew that singing the song is irritating this boy. I don't know if this boy was trying to ask her out or what. I didn't know. But I didn't know that even singing the song is irritating this boy. It's like, I just thought we were just singing, just being a child and just being innocent. So we are in a car coming back from school, right? The minute the school car drops me at the stop station where the school car picks me up from. Listen, I came out of the car and the car left. Within a second, this boy, I do not know, I don't remember very well if he kicked me in my stomach or he punched me in my stomach. And literally, there and there, I vomited. It was that hard. I literally threw up. And luckily, there was this neighbor, lady of mine. She screamed. She was coming on a different direction. She's an older lady. She screamed, what are you doing? What are you doing? Leave the child alone. And, he left me. So my mom like, why is this boy even hitting me? Now, my friend that I was singing with, the one that made me sing the song was not even, she doesn't even drop off there with me. She drops off, in a different, place, not to where I drop off when, I'm coming back from school, where the car drops me off. Okay, and then I was just crying. I was a mess. I came back, I was crying. My dad was home, right? And my dad asked me, I don't remember if my dad was home or he heard what had happened, but I think I remember he did ask me what happened. And then I told him what happened. So my dad studied martial arts and karate. So if you know that people that, did karate, study martial arts, they don't just, especially karate, I don't know about other other stuff, but I know that karate, you don't just hit a person, right? Even if they provoke you, you don't just go straight and just, no, you remain unprovoked until a certain level when you can see that these people are just testing you right now. And if they pull the last straw, then, they in it. They in for it. So that was my dad. He wouldn't just hit you. Even us as kids, he wouldn't just hit us. He would just make an example that would just traumatize your mind, and you just decide right there that I'm gonna be a good person. I'm gonna be a good child. I don't wanna be I don't wanna be turning to a fried chicken in the oven or whatever. Like, listen, I'm good. I don't want my face to be rearranged because he was really strong. But he's not a big person, but he was just tall and masculine, kind of guy. So I came back from home and he heard what had happened. And then I think he asked me, because I think I just took a bath and then went to bed early. So I was a child that doesn't like to go out so much. I was always indoors. It was me and my cartoons. Even now, I'm gonna turn 33 in 10 December, and I love my cartoons. I still love my cartoons. So yeah, my dad started martial arts. So you can already see the discipline that I'm talking about, the discipline that he had. So he asked me, and then I told him what had happened. And then the next morning, it's like, okay. And then the next morning, he wakes up very early. And then he used to wash his car sometimes. He will just wash his car early in the morning before he goes to work, which was so weird. Because you wash your car in weekends. You don't wash your car in the morning while, about to go to work. So he was working in this company. He was a manager there. I think maybe those were the benefit because he was bringing the good stuff, So it was like, don't call me. I'm going to call you when I'm coming to the office, kind of vibes. So, yeah, I think they really loved my dad at work. He was one of the good ones that they had and appreciated. So in the morning, he was washing his car. He had a Nissan, twin cab Nissan. It was a big car. Twin cab Nissan was a van car. What had happened, and then, sorry, I'm just taken back right now. So this guy, and then this boy, because this boy was my neighbor, and then he was working past. Now he's going to school, right? And I'm still in the house. He was literally washing his car. He had the water pipe, just rinsing the car. And then this boy was walking up. And then I think he waited for this boy to greet him. Okay. My dad is a man that doesn't make drama, guys. He does not. So those ones are dangerous ones because once you provoke him and once you try to harm what he loves the most, what is near to him, then yeah, you're just in big trouble. That was it. There's no other way to sugarcoat that. You're just in trouble. And then I think he waited for the boy to greet him. And then the boy greeted him. He was going to school. He's dressed with his white shirt, school uniform stuff, with a school backpack and everything. I think he greeted him. When he greeted him, and then he asked the question. So tell me, boy, who gave you the rights? And my dad is not a loud person. That's the thing about my dad. He's not a loud person. It's like, who gave you the rights to touch my child? And then the boy he's like, no one. And then he asked, so why do you do it? And then he tried to explain, a story that I didn't even know. Child, I was just so confused what was happening. And then after that, the boy tried to explain, with his little ego and stuff. And you know what my dad did? He just took the water pipe that he was using to rinse the car and shifted the direction, right directed to this boy. The water splashed him from head to toe. He splashed him from head to toe. The boy was dripping wet. And then he took the pipe, went back, redirected back to the car. He was rinsing the car. And then the boy imagine this boy is going to school, right? And in a few minutes, the school car is going to be waiting for us in the same, location where the car picks us up in the morning. So now this boy's going to realize already he's wet. And he just froze. The little boy just froze. And he was not that little. I think he was older than me. I think I was probably, I'm not sure what age I was in, but I was in primary school. And this boy was in high school. So you can just see that he was a bit older than me. The little boy just froze. And my dad just said, make sure that was the first and the last time. Don't you should I ever hear that you did it again, my child, you don't want to mess with me. Listen, I came out of the house going, to the location where we wait, for the the school car to pick us up. I felt so joyful, like, I saw the whole action taking place. I'm like, my dad is gonna show me. Yes, dad. I'm busy cheering him on, or I was inside the house, and then he called me like, now you can go to school. And I'm just walking there, victorious, feeling, happy and feeling protected that, yes, you are not going to touch me. You see my dad, listen, you are not going to touch me. So we had that kind of relationship, and, so we were safe when he was around. He will listen to us and everything. He'll help us with, our homeworks and everything, with math and everything. So, and then, then the dark cloud came. I remember I was young when my dad left. Right now, I am 32, turning 33 in December 10, right? So, this happened when I was 12. I was going to turn 13 in December. I had to ask my mom when was the exact month, because when I'm talking about this, I need to be exact, be specific rather. Then my mom told me that I was 12 years old when he left, and he left on the month of October 2002, and I was 12, and I was gonna turn 13 in December 10. So and then my mom, I didn't see anything really that was different that day. But I remember it was just quiet, right? And then my mom called me to her room, and then I came. I was always a very deep child. At the youngest age, I was just that deep child. So number one, you have to be careful of the kids that are just quiet, because they're in their minds, they're very deep. They won't just talk, because a lot is going on in their minds. For them to talk, they need to feel safe first in the space that they're expected to talk. They don't just talk because you won't hear them anyways, So my mom called me to her room, and then he tells me, I think I was kneeling down. I used to like to kneel down and then lie in the bed, right? Just kneel, and then my hands would be on top of the bed. I used to like to just do that. And then I come back, and then I do that. And then my mom is like, okay, so I have something to tell you. And I'm like, okay, what, Mom? And then she's like, your dad is gone. Your dad has left. I didn't even ask my mom, what do you mean? I just cried. I cried. I remember I cried. I wept. Like, my mom was so shocked that at the youngest age of 12, I can understand everything that is taking place. That, other kids will be like, if you say, Daddy's got away. What do you mean? Okay, is it going to come back tomorrow? Okay, cool. Sorry. But I was that different child. So when my mom told me that your dad is gone, she knew exactly that, oh my God, this child can fully understand at this age, because she's not a normal child, right? I cried. I wept. It was so painful, right? What I felt when he was gone, I felt I'm not protected anymore. I felt empty. I felt like I'm not covered. I'm not covered anymore, It was just like, okay, now the king of the castle is no more in the castle. And the castle just feels so empty, basically. It was quite tough. And then I started to now grow in pain. This thing was painful. Now I have to learn to grow with this pain. Now I'm just disappointed. This was my dad, man. Now suddenly, this disappointment really, it was a lot. It was a lot. But by the grace of God, I pulled through. And my mom was a very big inspiration. My mom is a nurse. She's a nurse. So she studied. She continued in nursing. I'll say categories. You get opportunities to go and further your studies at work. I think it's a government thing. So my mom got that opportunity. I remember her first, I think one of the first opportunities she had was she got an opportunity she could, travel abroad and go work there as a nurse. She was like, I cannot leave my kids. So she sacrificed. She sacrificed a lot for us. And even today, I'm very grateful of the woman. And I'm like, Lord, give me enough strength to be a blessing in her life. Have a blessing in her life as much as she's been a blessing to my life. Because she is a warrior. And then my mom took it from there. She, she held the home together. She made sure that this home is gonna be warm as long as she's still alive and as long as she's still here. So she was given an opportunity to further her studies. So she declined the one that says she must go, the opportunity that she must go abroad, because she was like, what are my babies gonna be? I can't do that. I can't. My babies can't survive without me. I need to be there. So she took the other opportunity where she just go and study in this university, further her studies in nursing. So she will travel, and then probably in a month she will see us in 2 weekends in a month. So she will just it was like a 2-hour drive away from home. And then, we'll be left with a nanny to take care of us. And then she'll call and check us up here and there. Almost every day, basically. Almost every day. So, but, her not giving up in life really motivated me, And I started, the way that I viewed a woman and the way that I viewed a man, it started to change, Before, I used to see, a male figure at that point in my life. My dad was a hero. Listen, I knew that if I tell dad this, they said my dad is going to pull through and everything, And then to what had happened, my hero leaving his own castle, leaving me behind. It was not really leaving me behind, because I wanted him home. We were a family, But him just leaving us like that, it really tore me into pieces. And I needed now to learn how am I gonna heal. So a few years went by, and my mom studied and then came back and got a new position at work and left. But mom made sure that she provided for us. We are not living a really fancy life, but we had everything that we needed. We never lacked. My mom provided for us, and, she made sure that we are warm, we are comfortable, and, we are Christ-centered, Because every evening after eating dinner, we'll, pray and read the Word of God. And then, she would just, now her bed now is too big for her, all right? She just call us over to her room, us little monkeys, climb up in her bed and, we'll just flood her bed, basically, all 4 of us. 2 in the front, 2 in the back. And she was like, that helped her heal as well, because this bed that she was sharing with her husband, now her husband is gone, now this bed is too big for her now. Even it's just cold in this bed. So she just called her little monkeys, 4 little monkeys that she gave birth to. Monkeys will just run straight up, get it. We just positioned ourselves, and it was so nice and funny. And it's good that to know that was her healing as well. It really is. Yeah, it's just beautiful that we, as much as we're kids, we couldn't do much. We can't provide. We depend on our moms providing for us. But to know that, as a child, like, what can I do? Then know that just to be there, just to be there, just to cuddle with her when she's sleeping, that's all that she needs. It keeps her going, and of course, the strength given to her by God that kept her going hard. So that was the journey where my mom, I looked at her and I was just so inspired, and I started to see women as the strong figure, strong human that does not allow anything to break her. She had a lot of reason to break, but it didn't break her. It made her stronger. So I was just so fascinated looking at, like, okay, now I started to see a shift now. And then I'll see a male as this, this person that can't really deliver as much as, a female would deliver. I was like, so yeah, it was a roller coaster. Emotionally, spiritually, and physically. But by the grace of God, God helped me. And then now, see, my dad disappeared for such a long time. He just pop by anytime, park by the gate. We'll go and see my dad, hi dad, and everything. So I started to shut down, when I request a few things, that I need this, that I'm like, okay. But he wouldn't come back, he wouldn't deliver anymore, and I started to hold back that, okay, I'm not going to ask anything because, it doesn't deliver. So already I'm just shutting down that, okay, just hi, how are you? Okay, if you need to see us, we got eat, come back. I'm not gonna have high expectations of you now because, wow, So he disappeared for some quiet years, and then I think he started to come back again a few years later than that. I think, I'm not sure if around 2009, I think around 2009, my dad started to come around and everything, and then 2011, I'm not sure, around about those years, and then my dad is starting to reach out and everything, started to come, spend a day, then goes, and then I started to be really, really angry. I started to be really, really angry because I expected him to sit us down. Now we're grown, right? We are grown human beings. Sit us down and tell us, we want to hear that you are sorry. We don't need much from you, just to say you are sorry. What you did was wrong. You gave up on us. That's from a child's point of view. You gave up on me. So hearing that, felt like, it's just gonna mean the world to me. And but like our parents, this old generation, it's so hard for them to tap into their emotions, to be emotional beings with us. And it's like if they get emotional, they're gonna be viewed as these weak people, weak men. While that's not even the case. Being emotional with us, it means you see us, and now you are giving me and you an opportunity to heal together now, because you're going to be vulnerable and share your pain, and I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm going to feel comfortable to be vulnerable too and share my pain, and then, we heal together. And now that's a journey that's going to bring us closer together, as a father and daughter. But, he was just so, Yeah, so he didn't apologize, right? But the action that he did, you know, he took the action that he did made me see that okay, he's trying, even though he's not saying it, he's not really voicing it out, but he's trying his best, right? To cut a long story short, I started to be angry. I started to be bitter again. Like, okay, like this is now because now, listen, I'm on my mom's side. You're not gonna come here and to break your heart again. Like, I want to hear what is your story. Put us in the page. What are you saying? You know what God said. God, it was like, my child, please shut up. Shut up. Be quiet. That is not your place to go. And I'm like, what? What? Holy Spirit, are you kidding me? I'm trying to fight for my mom here. Like, I'm trying to fight for my mom here. Like, she, he needs to, be clear where he is with my mom so that we know we're comfortable. Okay, this is like, how do we view you? Do we view you as, the dad that left and just gonna pop by, just to see us try to mend the relationship? Or, a dad that is coming fully, to possess his castle again and, and we grieve together and grow from there as a family. Like, I need to know what, and God was like, no, my child, that is not your place. That is my business as your heavenly Father. I am the one that's gonna sort this out. I am the one that is, don't even go there. And God started to speak to me and he says, my daughter, you need to forgive. And I was like, God, what do you mean forgive? How can I forgive? I'm so angry. I'm full of rage right now. How can I forgive? Where do I even start? How do you even forgive someone that didn't even ask for forgiveness? Like, how on earth do I do that? I'm angry. And God was like, listen to me, my child. Listen to me. Listen to me. And read Luke 6 verse 37. Let me look it up a bit. Oh yeah, I found it. Luke 6, a book of Luke 6, chapter 6, verse 37. It reads, do not judge others, and God will not judge you. Do not condemn others, and God will not condemn you. Forgive others, and God will forgive you. And I started to be emotional. Like, Lord, how can I forgive this? Like, I'm a very outspoken person. I like to speak about in my emotions, what I feel here and there. Growing up, I couldn't really, balance how to do that. But as I've grown more maturely now, I have found balance, and I'm still learning to find balance. So I'm a very outspoken, person. And now to learn to forgive someone that didn't even ask for forgiveness. Like, how do I do this, God? Do I just, walk up to him and like, listen, Dad, we need to talk? And God was like, no, you're not going to do that. And God was like, okay, God, tell me what to do. And God was like, pray. I'm like, pray? What? You gave me my feelings and you just tell me to pray? God was like, yes, I want you to pray. I want you to pray. I'm like, okay, what am I praying about? I want you to pray and then say you forgive him. Because I have forgiven you of all the mistakes that you've made on earth. Working, the journey that you have on earth, you make a lot of mistakes and I forgive you. Now I want you to forgive. Because as your heavenly Father, you shall walk like Christ walk. Walk like God walks. And I was like, okay. I remember I just knelt down and I started praying. I was crying. I was weeping. Like, Lord, I forgive him. I forgive my father. I forgive me. I forgive him for abandoning me. I forgive him for hurting my heart and turning to pieces, because fathers are, daughters' first true love. I was like, Lord, that love was broken. I was weeping. I'm talking about ugly cry, honey, like everything coming out. I was weeping. And I just prayed, and God is like, good. God cried out in my presence, and I wept. And then I finished praying, and I was like, wow, God, I didn't see this one coming. Wow. Wow. So, and then God started to speak to me and says, he continued rather speaking to me and says, my child, you cannot hold grudges, because your holding grudges holds your own blessings. You need to let it go. Let it go and trust me to handle this matter. All right. And I did that. And then after praying, then God says, open 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 9. Okay. I opened it, and it speaks about grace that is sufficient. It reads, my grace is all you need, for my power is greatest when you are weak. I was just so, I was amazed. I was amazed, and I was humbled by God. And as much as I was really sensitive, but God started to heal me. And that helped me to actually, build a relationship with my dad again, even though he didn't ask for forgiveness, but forgiving him, because I'm sure he also asked forgiveness to God, because he was just too ashamed to, say it in my face or in our faces. How do you even start, right? So, and then he saw that I'm trying to reach out, and then he reached back, and we started to communicate again. We wouldn't talk about the elephant in the room, because, generations are not the same. The older generation, like our father's generation, were listen, the way they were taught. Our generation is better now, because, young men are being raised to speak and communicate and be vulnerable and be emotional, speak your mind out, so that we find a solution to work further, and heal, but that happened. And I started to forgive, and, I started to, God started to melt the grudges in my heart, because, I was like, God, now I'm thinking, what? These grudges hold my blessings? No. I'm not about to have that. I'm forgiving now. Now, to look at it in that point of view, it's like, okay, and now, listen, God, I didn't look at it in that way, but now I see. I was blind, and now I see. So, listen, I'm forgiving. Thank you for healing my heart. It was a journey, and it was a long journey of forgiving. So God was like, we need to be merciful into people that have wronged us, because he is a merciful father to us, and where we are with my dad now, we are in a happy place. We still don't stay in the same, house. He still stays in his own house, that he built. But he does, pitch up here and there. We talk, and we talk and chat and laugh, and then I see the love he has for me, through him loving my daughter, and that just melts my heart. The way that he loves our kids, it's like he's trying to mend, his past, that he see me and hear me and feel my love through me loving you the way that I can right now, and also loving your children. And that to me is, I'm grateful to God for that. It's better than nothing at all. And I've learned to accept, how things are, and take him as he is, and how to handle him, and everything, so that I can enjoy his company. And, because one thing that we have in common with my dad, we have the same sense of humor. Like, I took after him the sense of humor of just cracking jokes and, having the serious face on and then just cracking jokes. So, like, we have that, in common. And another thing, like, my dad is multi-talented. Like, listen, there's nothing my dad won't do. He will build a house. He will do this. He will do that. Like, he's multi-talented. And that is what I took from him. And growing up as a multi-talented person as well, it is not easy because you have a lot going on in your mind. There's a lot of things that you want to do. You don't know how to strategize this. You don't know how to go about it. And you feel like there are some talents in you that you want to shut down so that others operate. But then God gave you all of this stuff. So clearly there's a way, And then God reminded me there's a time and place for everything to take place. All the gift that I've given you, my daughter, will take place, in a certain period of time. So that is it, my darlings. That is it, my beautiful people. I hope you enjoy this podcast. There's sacred space with God. This is a space that, God has told me and led me to create, to be vulnerable, for people to be touched. It's a very safe, sacred space with God. We're putting God, forward, and we say, Lord, heal us with our painful past. Talk to us, comfort us, And with that, I forgave my dad, and I was at peace, and I was healed by grace, nothing but grace. I love you, my beautiful people. Have a beautiful day or have a beautiful night. Depends on when you're going to be listening to this podcast. Until next time. Bye. Thank you very, very much for tuning in and chilling with me. I hope you've learned something. I hope you received an encouragement, knowing that if you went through the same situation, you're not alone, and there is hope, there is peace, and there's healing. Till next time, bye. I love you all.